take 4. If I get this video done, it'll be a miracle. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Laura. Welcome back. No, I have not put a video out on this channel in a month. And so if you see in this video, please hit the like and say hi down below. Try to get this video pushed up so that people can see it. So this is kind of a little bit of a hodgepodge of everything because I have not put a video out in a month. And that's mainly because I have been swamped with so many other things going on in my personal life and with basically I just don't have any place to go. Cemeteries, like those videos only get like 20-30 views. It's time consuming. You know, you see a 20-minute video, but it takes me, you know, takes me sometimes 20-30 minutes or more just to get there, and I have a driving Miss Daisy taking me, and that's taking time out of his day. And if we spend an entire day going from cemetery to cemetery, we're gone all day doing maybe 4 or 5 videos, and I'm an hour at each cemetery, and there's like 20 minutes driving between cemeteries. It's and then not to get very many views. It's kind of like, why? And as far as going on any vacation, you've seen when I went. He's done haying, so now I can do stuff maybe, but now it's the whole aspect of income and the heat. It's like 100 and some degrees today. It's supposed to be 109, and that's not with the heat index. I'm not leaving my house. I paid my bills today, and I'm done. I'm not leaving. And then it's supposed to get down to like 101 tonight, and then cool off down into the lower 90s because we're supposed to get a little rain. If and when that happens, it's only like a 40-some or 50-some%. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be like a 50 to 60%. But you know, it happens whenever we have a lot of people shooting off fireworks. It usually rains. So there's that. I almost knocked stuff off the table. So my dental journey. Oh my word. We always take his HHR. It's newer, has a lot, like 100,000 less miles than mine. And it's in a lot better shape, and it gets a little better mileage than my car, like maybe 5 miles to the gallon more, mainly because he has flex fuel. So it does get better mileage. Yeah. We left on Friday. This is Friday, but we left the Friday before this. We didn't go to the tractor show. He didn't have time to get his tractor put together, running and stuff. You know, if the set's for a year, you know, it takes some, you know, work to get it operational, and then you gotta drag it to the tractor show in a big trailer because they're antiques. They're almost 100 years old. So you're driving them there in a trailer, and when you're haying all week and it's Friday and tractor show's starting, you don't care if you go. And it costs $10 per person to go into the tractor show. So we didn't go. We didn't even go to walk around it because it was so expensive to just go. And a lot of people didn't. They hurt themselves by doing it that way. It should have been like $10 a person or so many, or $15 a carload. Would have been better. We might have gone at $15 a carload. You know, but $10 a person just to go walk around for a couple of hours? No. So I don't have any videos of the tractor show this year. It just is what it is. I kind of was looking forward to it. I love the tractor show. Okay, so enough about that. What else? Okay, back to Friday. we left to decide he wanted to go have Mexican at Harrisonville. We left. We were going down the road. I said something to him. He turned to look at me, and I turned to look at him, and there's this raccoon. And you remember those cartoons where the animal's like running on its hind legs? It's got its feet out like this, and its mouth is. I kid you not, this raccoon was running like something was chasing it, and it was like doing this. Came out of nowhere across the road, rammed into the front of his car before I could even get out that there was a raccoon. And it just like, bam, the car shook. We both screamed and jumped. Totally demolished the front of his car. The front of these HHRs are all plastic. And yeah, we had to finish taking, it was held on by one bolt. It's all that was holding it still to the car, the inner wheel well. And it tore part of it off, the upper part, by the tire, and then just one bolt was holding it on underneath. So we got that off. And the whole front end of it was just smashed. And it was still hanging by one piece. And I picked up like a part of a hoodie string off the ground. And I said, well, here, I know this isn't long enough, but why don't we take a hoodie string out of your hoodie? He wouldn't listen to me. If I like convinced him. And that's how we tied it to the post that the hood comes down on. And we limped it back home. And it's actually zip tied together. Unless you get close, you don't really notice too much that it's got black zip ties on this dark gray car holding the whole front end of it together. Yeah. So now I call her Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. So that was how our weekend started. This is the car we take to Mount Vernon to my dentist. So she kind of drives a little toe out because it hit and it was hard. So he's got a little work to do there, but kind of put some dents in the frame that holds the radiator in, because it shoved that whole bumper, the thing that holds the bumper back. It's kind of like a thing that, like, it's almost like a safety thing, kind of like cushions, I guess. I don't know. But it's one of the airbags didn't go off. It hit so hard. So guys, that's how our weekend started. And then Tuesday I went to the dentist. Left it like 5 o'clock in the morning. Got there about 10-15 minutes before my appointment. It was a quiet ride down, quiet ride back. I went in. I knew that I had to go back. My last reline went terrible. It's nothing really against Mid-America Dental. They are wonderful. It was a brand new, new as in, my appointment was February 4th. She had just gotten her certificate February 1st. She had happily displayed, and the date on it was February 1st, and my appointment was February 4th. Yeah. She made some mistakes. I was gagging to the point where I almost passed out, and a dentist, the main dentist guy, come running, and one of the other dental assistants come running, because not only was I gagging so bad that I was like almost throwing up, but we couldn't get my denture back out of my mouth. It was terrifying. Then she just kept saying, breathe through your nose, breathe through your nose. I couldn't. The first time she put the reliner in, she said, well, you're not getting suction. Well, she didn't go back and take the extra goop off, which is what she should have done. So that was kind of like a learning curve for her. She did that wrong. And she's piled on more of that silicone stuff and shoved it back in my mouth. When she did that, because there was so much on there, it like stuck to everything in my mouth, including my bottom teeth. And that's why I was choking. And I was literally choking, could not catch my breath. And it was starting to close up the back of my throat. So by the time they got this out of, I mean, I was pulling, she was pulling, and everybody was starting to panic at this point, but we got my denture out of my mouth, finally. And I just sat there and sweat was pouring off me, and it was just a horrible ordeal. And they looked at the denture and they were like, okay. The dental assistant, other dental assistant, was talking to her, and the dentist was talking to me, and he was going, okay, we need you to catch your breath, take a few deep breaths, we're gonna make sure you get all this out of your mouth. And he was, you know, helping me clean it out of my mouth, and I was just shaking so bad, and I was still kind of gagging a little bit, but they got me a wet cloth and just, you know, sat there with me for a couple minutes. And they went back with her. When they came back with my denture, she did ask me to put it in, and I said, well, she goes, well, it's not getting, I said, it's because you got it too tall. I don't have a very tall, this part here, my gums are not very tall. And I told her that, and I was trying to be as nice as I could, because I already was like, I'm over it, right? She did listen to what I had to say, and she did fix it. And I think somebody back there was helping her and teaching her, which was good. I just wish I wasn't the guinea pig. But when she got done, I think that was the best fit I'd ever had. Okay. I never had to use, I did when I got out to the car, because I always had to put a little bit of Fixodent in it. Trust me, I did not need it. And I never put any in until, I don't know, I come back a little over 2 months later, and the lady I seen was the actual dental assistant lead. She's like the supervisor over all the dental assistants. And she's like, oh my gosh, I hate to take this out because this fits you so well, but I was having an issue with it being so rough. So she kind of thinned it out, and after that I did need to put a little bit of, if I was going to eat something that was like chewy or hard, you know, like if I was going to go out to eat and I really didn't want my teeth to be too loose, that kind of thing, like pizza crust really is a hard one to eat. But, and she goes, I don't like how they look in your mouth. She goes, they look like they're too small. The teeth are too small. I said, I don't know. And she looked at my x-rays, and she looked at my paperwork, and she just smiled for me. And I smiled. She goes, you're not supposed to see pink when you smile. The teeth are too small. And I says, well, the denture feels so large. And I showed her I could do this. Now I can do this, and I feel nothing. But I could do that, and there would be that much, my denture to my gum, that much space. So my denture stuck way out all the way around. And she goes, oh my gosh, that is way too big for your mouth. So she scheduled me to come back, which was Tuesday, and they completely remade my denture, which is why I bought the insurance, which was $250. It paid for all of my relinings for the whole year. And if I needed a new set of dentures, or two, or how many ever it took to get my mouth done shrinking, which it hadn't shrunk over the last probably 3 months, that's what that insurance paid for. So when I went down on Tuesday, they completely made a whole new denture. They used the one I was using as a like a mold, and they yeah, I have a whole new denture. I have different size teeth so they fit in my mouth more naturally. And now I've got to get my jaw back trained to be the correct size teeth in my mouth, because I had to force my jaw to come closed up higher and in a different position. So I got to, get it back to where it used to be. But that's coming along quite easily for me. So I'm really happy with it. So shout out to Mid America Dental. And I'll tell you, I see people that paid $2, $3, $4,000 for just an upper plate, and I look at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, is that how I looked? Because you could see like this big like dimple here, and you could tell that they having to pull their upper lip over just like I was having to do. And I was like, that is really noticeable. And I know that's must be how I looked and how I talked and how I sounded. And I know a lot of people were like, what did you just say? And I was like, I know what I said. And they're like, that's not what it sounded like. So I am glad this is over, because unless I have a sore, I don't have to go back. And so far, I don't. I had one sore from where they were trying to fit the last fitting, and had to leave that in there biting down, and then she could see where she needed to do some work. But even that's healed up. So I'm happy with it. So Mid America Dental has other places all over, but they don't all go by Mid America Dental. But if you look them up in Mount Vernon, they actually have a map that shows the different states and what the name of their businesses are that are affiliated with Mid America Dental. So I highly recommend them. They're well worth it. And yeah, I had to dovetail because I'm on Medicare, right? They, the one that you get when you have on social services, not Social Security. But I always get it wrong. But I had to dovetail my dentist with them. But in the long run, they worked very well with them, because it was immediate denture. I had to go down there and get that made. They had to send x-rays to them, and then I had to go down there and get the denture made, and I had 30 days to get my teeth pulled and that denture put in. And next day I had to go back to them after I've had my my teeth pulled and denture put in. I had to be down there the next day for the first liner put in, and to check my mouth. And that was for the first time that they cleaned up underneath and everything. So guys, it is so worth it. For my upper plate, I paid $250. If you wanted both plates, I can't remember the price, but I think it was like, it would have been $200 more, because it was like $450 for 2 plates plus the $50, or $450 for 2 plates with the $50 office visit, and then $250 for the insurance is how it went. So it's well worth it if you want to get your full set. It was $500 for just the upper denture. They also do partials and everything, and they are just really good to work with. So that's the update on my dentures. I'm finally done. I'm done a little earlier than I thought for, but it's just the way it worked out. I'm not done real early, only like 2 months early. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. And I actually forget they're in there. I'm like, with the reliner in there, they were so bulky in my mouth that it was very noticeable. So anyways, guys, I wanted to give you that update on my dentures and where I'm at with it. And my housing is still up in the air. I haven't heard back from HUD. I know that I'm way over their limit. They do not allow $750 a month for housing for a single person. I do have my options, but Missouri getting titles back to people right now is taking like 6 months. I don't have 6 months to wait for them to for this one camper I'm looking at. My lease runs up in September here, so without HUD, come September, I can't afford $750. So that's an ouch. So that's where I'm at with my housing. I am looking to do the camper mainly because everything's there. I don't have to put in a bathroom. I don't have to mess the wiring or the water or none of that. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. And for some reason, my phone says I'm full, and it shouldn't be, but I'll look and see what's going on. Everybody, I love y'all, and I will talk to all of you guys down in the comments below. Bye, everybody.